So here's the thing that no one tells you about self-love. Many people think that self-love is, loving yourself by giving yourself the things you want. To some extent, yes, that is true, that you will give yourself the things you need. But more of the time, it is a deeper truth than that. The deeper truth is that you will. What I discovered about self love is that I always knew that all the decisions I made were not my own decisions. There were some things imposed on me through culture, through society. And so a much deeper part of me always remained dormant because I never asked myself, what is it that I want? Right. So it started with a feeling of like, who am I? Am I erased from my own life? Who am I? what do I stand for? So, and then I recognized that this is what is self love, that to be able to stand with your inner child and to give yourself the deeper emotional support. It's not just about giving yourself external things, surface level things, but actually accepting yourself for who you are, even if you are a difficult person. And sometimes the inner child is actually a child which wants to just hide because for so long it has not been given the voice, or for so long it has always been told to shut up. So what happens is that it just hovers there, but it doesn't like actually say anything. It's like, imagine you scold a child and the child just goes into another room and the child is very angry, will not share anything with you. The same happens with your inner child. The inner child keeps telling you, this is not your truth, but you're lying to yourself all the time. So I had to stop lying to myself about what is it that I needed. And for the longest time, I kept lying to myself and giving myself superficial answers like, okay, things will get better if I do this, which was also what was taught to me. My parents gave me all this weird, weird kind of answers like, you can travel only when you get married. And it's ridiculous. I mean, I even questioned that, but somewhere I didn't kind of fully embody that because I knew that is wrong. And I knew that that is not something that I needed. I'm a grown adult and I could travel before that, but I really never questioned those things. And later I was like, okay, I did the wrong thing. I mean, I shouldn't have just agreed to what they said to me. I should have questioned and I should put my foot down. But it's hard sometimes because people around you manipulate you sometimes. They guilt trip you because they want you to do that thing so desperately. Because it's about their status, their society. They just want to show society that, okay, their daughter is now married. It's bullshit. But I realized that the self-love that came to me was about accepting myself for who I am. Even though everyone was saying that, you made a mistake, you should have been quiet in this situation. I think it started with me doing Vipassana meditation and understanding that whatever I was doing, whatever I was upset about was not wrong. My inner child was constantly abused. Like, my parents would never even allow me to do the basic things like what kids would love to do, like create something, and they never appreciated that. So obviously my inner child was wounded so badly, emotionally wounded. So it took me a long time to like embody that and kind of harness that part of me and to be the adult for my inner child and say to it that it's okay, you want to travel, you can, now we can do this. So it took me a long time to like allow my inner child to travel. I just, booked solo trips and I went wherever it is that I wanted to go. And I didn't wait for anybody else to come along. I didn't wait for their permission. And eventually people did join me. And it only happened after I first allowed myself to do that. So this is what is, I believe, the inner child work and the kind of self-love that most YouTube videos may or may not talk about. But from my perspective, I think this is a critical part of our living a healthy, emotionally healthy life. I think it's important that we do those things, no matter what it might be. It might be as silly as sometimes buying that pen which is colorful. It was the case with me. Like, I had silly things which I was interested in, but for some reason, because I am supposed to be an adult and I'm not supposed to do those childish things, I stopped myself for the longest time. And then there was a phase where I started allowing all of it to come out. I wrote letters. I wrote 3 pages every morning, and I started listening to my inner self. Like, what do you want? What do you want to do? Okay, you want to travel? Fine, we do that. What do you want to do? You want to color? Okay, we'll do that. What do you feel like doing? It's like these things come as slight nudges. They don't come as someone yelling in your ears. They don't come as, you watching a YouTube video about what is it that I want, and then the YouTube video sometimes tells you, because you kind of recognize it. Like, sometimes you recognize yourself through others. Like, there was a time when I went to this pottery studio and I started recognizing myself in the other person. Like, okay, wasn't I the kind of person who envisioned something similar, but I forgot about it altogether because life happens. Things are being pushed upon us to do in a certain way. Like, okay, you have to work in a corporate because that's the best way to earn money. And so what happens is you forget your real person, the real person that you are. So for me to kind of harness that, I think is self-love. And it's a very slow process. If you think that self-love is just like, in this moment I do those things, but it's just like a slow unveiling of the self, the slow access to that. And I believe some things happen for a good reason. Like, I wasn't much fixated on holding myself down in one place, and I think that really worked for me eventually, where I could actually allow myself to do those things. Because later I saw so many people stuck in situations where they could not do those things, or they could do it, but like step by step they were able to do it. But it is hard, because what happens is, like, usually other people's expectations get mixed up with our own, and so we start to live life according to other people's expectations and through what others model for us. And there are many types of models in the world, but we have only just met a few of them, and whatever they model in front of us, we just end up doing those things because we think that's the best path. But slowly I started also developing other people as models, and finding other people who have kind of done those things that I probably want to do, or looking up to those, asking them, like, how did you do this, or taking advice from them. And this maybe is a topic for another one, but self-love is like such a deeper concept. To allow yourself to cry, to allow yourself to be your whole self, and not shun away from the maybe the fearful parts of yourself. I hope that this video has given you an understanding of what self-love is, and if you'd like to watch more, do comment and let me know if there is something that you would like me to cover topics on, because this is something that my self-discovery journey has been quite long, and that's because I was a very restless person trying to find answers to everything. And now I'm happy that I can share them with others. Bye-bye.